Excuse me? Is this thing on? Stop the presses. Hold the phone. It's time to step up to the mic. Here's what's going on in your community.
Well, hey there, boys and girls. It's time for a Mike Side Chat with 93.9 Mike FM. Darren and Rachel here in the house. How you doing, boys and girls? How you doing, Rachel?
It's been a day. Like, it started off, didn't want to get out of bed because it was so cold outside. I'm like, I'm so nice and toasty.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the week, but we're here. We made it.
We're here. We made it.
Yeah.
And it is, you're right. It's brisk, and the wind chill doesn't help. And I still have parts of my body that are waking up from my morning. So,
oof.
yeah.
And you've had longer to do that than I have.
I have, yeah.
I'm like,
but
I
I've
rolled
sat
out
on
of
my
bed
butt
at like
longer this
7.
morning.
Sorry.
Really, but well, good morning. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow, SEMO basketball at the Show Me Center. It's a whiteout game for this Thursday game. It's whiteout Wednesday for us because we've got tickets to give away.
Absolutely. And that game is going to be nationally televised.
Yes.
So come out, support. I know they want the Show Me Center packed so people can see just how awesome we are here
Absolutely.
in Cape Girardeau.
Yep. And to that end, they're playing Morehead State. Good team this year. They just beat Belmont. They're defending champions, OVC
Right.
champions. So we'll see how it goes. We want SEMO. We're going to root SEMO all the way through to a win. So come on out to the game. And the girls tip off at 5, the men tip off at 8. And between the games, our very own, not Mike FM, but Mike Rennick will be performing live up on the Scout area up on the concourse. So you can get live music in between the show. So you get basketball, a concert, and high fives from Rowdy. Can't go wrong. Very
exciting that they're adding that element to the games. There's always that dead space in between. You're like, what? Do I really want to go early? Because I don't want to have to kill a bunch of time. So adding that music piece is going to be really awesome.
Absolutely. And, on the opposite end of the spectrum, talk about the men's team for Morehead State doing superb. The women's team for Morehead State not doing too great. SEMO's got a really good shot at taking them out. So get there early for the women's game. It's exciting basketball. And if you want to win tickets, just throw something in the comments. Say, ooh, give me some tickets. And we'll pick a winner here in a little bit. Because arbitrary decisions is how we do things. Cheers to that.
Mike gets to do what he wants, play what he wants. We give away tickets however we want.
We are just Mike's little sands in the hourglass of time.
Absolutely. So we had a conversation that was started this week. And somebody asked, what is the greatest movie of all time? And I had to sit and think for a second. Like, I don't even know how you go about digesting that.
Right.
Because there's so many. It's like comparing apples to oranges, I feel like.
Apples to cows. Yeah. There's action movie. Well, if you're a fan of horror movies, maybe that's the greatest movie of all time. Maybe you're that one guy in the universe that likes Ishtar.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. That is arguably the worst movie of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. My husband will tell you, I dragged him to see P.S. I Love You in the movie theater. We almost got up and walked out. It was awful.
Terrible?
Awful. And I love a good chick flick, but just...
Is that the worst movie you've ever accidentally seen? Like, sometimes you'll watch something just because someone says, like, The Room. Well, this is absolutely terrible, and you need to watch it because of that reason. But, like, somebody says, oh, this is a good movie. You need to go check it out. And then you watch it, and you're like, you high? What's the point of reference there?
That was probably the worst one that I paid to see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a movie on, like, when you're scrolling through all those channels, this was, like, back in the day, but, like, the movie Open Water, where literally these people are just like, they got just off the boat and somebody didn't put the ladder down and they're swimming and all these sharks literally it is 2 hours of them treading water trying to avoid these sharks. And that's it. And I'm like, why did I waste 2 hours of my life?
Yeah, no, that is a long time to watch people in the water. Water seems to be a theme of sucky movies. I know we said we're going to talk about good movies, but, Waterworld, Kevin Costner, I confess I've never watched it.
Okay.
And I like dystopian future movies. I'm kind of into that whole thing, Day After Tomorrow and so forth. I like the destruction of the entire planet kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that one, like, terrible reviews, terrible. Nobody bought the Laserdisc or DVD or whatever they came out with at the time. So I don't know.
Well, my sister made us watch Twilight with her too.
I've not done the Twilight series.
And it wasn't awful. But it wasn't
I can't get past the pretty vampire thing. Like, even Interview of a Vampire, whatever it is, that one was tough for me. Brad Pitt's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm sure that's not tough for other people.
Maybe not. But
the Twilight series, you enjoyed it, though? I mean, as far as the storyline goes, was it all right?
It was a little dramatic, and the acting was kind of
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't bad though. It wasn't the
It
worst
wasn't
thing
great.
that I watched.
Wasn't bad, wasn't great.
She's like, okay, we're gonna watch the second one. I was like, ooh, can we do that like a different day?
yeah, you need time to absorb
Yeah.
and take in all the drama.
So I mean, and like a young Taylor Lautner, I was like, okay. I don't get the whole Edward versus oh my gosh, what's
And it was
his
a
name?
big
The
team. I
vampire.
don't know. Team
Edward versus
Dracula. No.
Oh my gosh.
Well, see,
I don't
there you
even
go.
know. That's how much I remember
We know
about
what team
Twilight.
you were on there, yeah.
Yikes.
Team what's his face? I don't know.
I think Edward was the vampire. I don't even think he was the wolf. What was Taylor Lautner's character?
What about the Hunger Games? Did you do the Hunger Games series? Did you watch your
I watched
those?
one of them.
Yeah. I watched
And
the
that
first
was
one
it.
and that was enough for me. I don't like that movie. I
Yeah.
don't like that movie.
It wasn't bad. It just reminded me of some like the books that like I used to. I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah.
Seemed like I was a huge Harry Potter fan growing up, and like
Yeah,
I read all
same.
the books, but like I only got to like the third movie, and then I was kind of like done.
That's it. The movies, they did a good job with the
Mm-hmm.
movies. I mean, I'm not going to crap on the Harry Potter movies. Great effects work and everything
Yeah.
else. But, like, I don't know. I read all the books first. Layla, my daughter, she was reading all the books. So we made it up to fourth movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Same kind of deal. Just
Yeah.
didn't go beyond that. I don't know.
And not like you said, they're not bad. I just
No.
don't. I'm so busy that I just don't have time to dedicate that much
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm struggling with catching up with all my Marvel movies lately, and
Yeah.
I have been a diehard from day one, phase one kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally watched the Shanghai, the Ten Rings one.
Okay. I watched that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I finally watched that one, too. I enjoyed it.
Did you?
I like
Good.
it,
I
yeah.
did like that one. Was actually a lot of fun. And then I need to get in and watch the Eternals. And I'm stuck on the Spider-Man piece because I can't stream them anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I have to pony up, I guess. And
I'm fortunate
pay
as
for
a
those.
Verizon customer. I've got the Disney Plus included, so
Oh, nice. But
that,
you can't.
it's handy.
Spider-Man's not on
no,
there.
no. I have other sources for my
Oh, okay.
my other movies.
You'll have to hook me up later.
Nefarious downloading principles. I never download anything illegal ever in the last 25 years. So good movies, though. We love good movies. We love movies. You know, I like history movies to some degree. One of my favorite movies on the entire planet is 1989. It's Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Glory. It's a Civil War movie.
Okay, I've seen
And,
the
yeah.
poster for it
Okay.
or the
Yeah.
movie cover.
And it's an incredible movie. I mean, just top to bottom, it's a wow. And it's hard to find. That's
Yeah.
another one of those I had
Okay.
to get from other sources. I had a VHS copy, and that's all I had.
I gotcha.
But an incredible soundtrack, and that's one of those movies that the soundtrack for it ended up being used. And I don't remember if it was the Boys Choir of Harlem was the music was produced by them within the movie, but the music from it had been used for PSAs over the last 20 years for all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of that's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love that one. I'm also a big Marvel guy, so sign me up on those. We saw Eternals in the theater, and I thought
Did you? Was it good?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to dig into that one. That'd be
it
good.
kind of got pooed by some people, but,
Right.
whatever.
Well, I was kind of surprised whenever we posed this question on Facebook, nobody mentioned any Marvel movies,
Yeah.
which is kind of
That is
shocking
odd.
to me. I was like, huh.
What kind of stuff were
Interesting.
the folks posting? When
Well,
Mike posed the question there. So.
Ashley Tate, she had a very good one. Field of Dreams, classic.
yeah,
Such a
that's-
good movie.
As a dad and a son and a baseball guy,
Right.
I mean,
You can't beat it. And then whenever they did the MLB
make
game
me-
out there this year,
Yes.
gave me such nostalgic vibes. It was really
Yeah.
cool. And then our favorite local realtor, John Spear, most random award goes to him. He said Howard the Duck,
Howard the Duck.
and I don't even know what that is. And he
You
shared
don't
it.
know, as a Marvel person,
No,
you don't know Howard
I
the Duck.
don't. I mean, I know
Okay.
he's like a cartoon person.
John,
but-
I'm with you. I mean, I don't know that it's the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
That but you need to watch
Yeah.
it as a Marvel person. I
Okay.
mean, it's tongue in cheek too, a little bit,
Oh, gotcha.
obviously. But I haven't probably seen it in 20-something
Well,
years.
the
but-
GIF that he shared, because somebody's like, "Is this a real movie?" And the GIF he shared looks kind of scary, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to dig into that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But now I get recommendations for you, so maybe we'll have to add it.
So as you dive into the Marvel stuff, Howard the Duck makes an appearance in a couple of the Marvel
Oh,
movies.
okay.
Because he's part of that cinematic universe. It's just,
Didn't know that.
yeah, you got a deep geek
Okay.
on that one to get all the quack facts.
Good to know. Jennifer Ferrari says, "I love Forrest Gump. Cannot beat some Forrest Gump."
Yeah, Forrest Gump's a good movie.
Desiree the Princess Bride, which is a classic.
Princess Bride, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I'm older than you, obviously. This year, I'm hitting my 30th high school reunion.
Oh, that's
Gross. But Princess Bride, man, us drama kids, in high school, that was a thing. Like when you were doing one acts and stuff.
Yeah.
I can remember a couple good friends of mine doing the scene between the Dread Pirate Roberts and the genius guy that led Fezzik? No. No. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, though, the guy with the poison, the whole poison scene thing. And they redid that verbatim, for a one act. So that was kind of cool. But that's a good one. That's a timeless one.
Classic. Chris Minch says Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorites. I do love that one. I will say, I was not a very big movie buff until my husband introduced me to a lot of the classics. I was not one that dug in it. Like, I had not seen Shawshank Redemption. I had not seen Hoosiers. I had never seen. He let me open my world to that one. Love that.
Yeah, that's a sports classic for sure.
Yeah.
There's some great sports movies.
There
of
are.
Dreams, Hoosiers, yeah.
There really are. And then I'm also a crybaby too. So anytime I watch The Perfect Storm with George Clooney.
I've not seen it.
You've not seen it? Mm-mm. Oh my gosh. I cry every single time and I know what's gonna happen. I know how it ends. But it's a really good movie.
Nice.
They go on a shipping boat. They fish for a living. They get caught up because they decide to go out for one last trip. Get kind of caught up in the emotions of making a big haul because that's what their families needed at that time. And disaster strikes. And it's just
Does
George
the soundtrack
Clooney at
have
his
any
best.
shanties? Like any sea shanty type songs?
Like
the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald kind of.
I don't think so.
ear-mugging?
I think it's more stoic.
Okay.
Kind of because it's more of a drama.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another good seafaring movie, Master and Commander. Have you ever seen that one?
Not seen that one.
With, Gladiator guy. What's his name?
Gladiator guy. Not,
Russell Crowe.
Oh, Crowe. Yeah.
Russell Crowe. Master and Commander. That's a killer naval movie. Yeah.
I love
you
The
get
Guardian
your
2
history.
with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where he goes and he teams up with the Coast Guard Ashton Kutcher's in that movie?
I think you're right, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one, too.
Yep. Yeah, cowboy movies, of course, everybody's kind of getting on the vibe of cowboy TV right now. You got Yellowstone in 1883, but...
Nothing will beat Pure Country for me.
Pure Country. That is... Man, I haven't heard that one in a long time.
Dusty.
George
I
Strait,
stopped singing
right?
for 4 bars. 4 bars. Quote that one all the time. It's good. Nobody noticed. Go on.
That is it. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm partial to still some of I was a Disney kid coming up, man. I loved the Disney movies and like high school, junior high, I had a few friends that I'd go over to my friend Christy's house and we'd watch the Disney movies, Aladdin and Little Mermaid and all that good stuff.
Did you have a favorite Disney movie?
No, because they're too spectrum for me. Like Flight of the Navigator, which a lot of people don't know because that was mid 80s, I guess, when that dropped. Okay. Incredibly creative movie. Yeah. Fantastic movie. I loved that one. I loved, but the animated stuff was great. But like even some of the stuff that came out before I was born that I watched as a kid, like Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That's a fantastic. And that was one of the early combining animation and live action together. Okay. And that's actually for considering the technology of the time and everything when they made that movie. There's like some underwater dance scenes and stuff with. And also, it's got, oh my God, why can't I think of her name? Murder, She Wrote actress.
The older lady with the hair, the white hair.
Angela Lansbury.
Okay.
Yeah, she plays the lead character in that movie, and she's so fantastic.
Aww.
And there's ghosts, and there's war, and there's underwater fish, and, flying beds. It's a fantastic film. But,
so like what Avatar, the new one's supposed to be, but like way back in the day?
Yeah, but no, Disney's cranked out some good ones, over the years, so I'm a little. I'll dive in on some of the '60s ones, like Herbie the Love Bug or some of that stuff.
See, I liked the remake of Herbie with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, and they did good with like the Nutty Professor remakes and some stuff like that. Yeah. Eddie Murphy and those.
I didn't know that those were remakes.
So there was the original Nutty Professor
before Eddie Murray.
Lewis.
There was one. Yeah. I did not know this.
The OG Flubber Master.
Okay.
The Nutty Professor and I don't remember the actor now, but there was an original. I think there was an original Dr. Dolittle as well. I can't remember who the actor was, but yeah.
I'm learning
Disney
so much.
recycles well, for sure. But yeah, we would love to see your comments. If you want some basketball tickets, comment away. We're going to give those away today. And if we don't give them away on Facebook, we'll give them away after the fact on Facebook or something. We want you to come fill those seats tomorrow, though. It's going to be a blast. And we're talking movies, so we want to know what, some of your favorites are. And really genre-wise, I think that's what's hard for anybody to say, this is my favorite movie, hands down. Now, some people may because it's attached, it's a milestone in their life or something, or like that was the movie I saw my first day with my wife or something like that. First movie I saw with my wife was Constantine. With
I don't know if I even remember what our first movie was.
That was the first one we saw. It was in February.
Yeah.
But no, Constantine, man, that's a good movie too.
That's cool. My father-in-law, their first date, I love my in-laws, but he thought the movie Deliverance was about a float trip. And so he took my mother-in-law first date to go see Deliverance.
Oh, no.
Things worked out okay. They're still together, obviously. I was
as long as they weren't cousins going into the theater.
Yeah. So if you can survive that, I guess you can survive anything.
Squeal like a pig, boy. This is so romantic.
Oh, man.
It's terrific.
Well, and then you had the conversation, Christmas Vacation is one of our ultimate favorites. And even though it's a Christmas movie, we quote it year round.
Oh, yeah.
So then could you throw that into is this the greatest movie of all time?
Yeah.
I mean,
the Christmas movie genre, that's a whole fight in and to itself, whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie or Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. Christmas movies can have guns, too. But, yeah, Christmas movies, man, that's a whole nother nest you got to hunt.
Right.
There.
How are you with chick flicks?
I'm okay most of the time. I'll tell you this. I do not subscribe to the Hallmark Channel stuff. No, no, hard no. Because I prefer a creative storyline, and 90% of those are recycled storylines.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with them. You be you. If you dig them, that's cool. Love Actually is a good chick flick. I would go watch that one again.
Okay.
But, I don't. Prefer to watch the rom-coms and so forth. I don't know.
So
I'm the kind of guy that...
Those are my comfort movies. I feel like if there's something I just want to watch for the 100th time, throw it on. Like Mean Girls. Adore watching Mean Girls. Quote it all the time. Legally Blonde. Also fun. You can't go wrong with Reese Witherspoon.
See, for me, that's probably like Blazing Saddles or Ghostbusters or something.
I gotcha.
More of the I was a kid going kind of movies. I don't have to think too hard. I would say, I could rewatch any of the Marvel stuff or Star Wars stuff anytime, but you got to dedicate. That's a lot of time.
So, a ton of time.
And it seems like any of the good movies coming out are at least a couple, 2.5 hours long.
That's what we started looking to see if we could watch them, because by the time we get home, we get settled in. It's okay, let's watch a movie tonight. And you're like, 2.5 hours? That's way past my bedtime.
For a morning show, the last thing I want to do is watch a movie at night. So I don't watch that many movies anymore. But in Star Wars, I'm a huge Star Wars geek. I mean, I've owned them all. Even the freaking terrible Christmas special in 1978, I own that one too. But I do love the Star Wars movies. I understand the distaste for the late 90s, early 2000s additions to the series. But, sometimes you got to wade through the poop to get to the swimming hole. So that's how it works.
Well, it's funny you said Star Wars. Stephen Northern commented on our post the other day, and he said Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, for him, is the greatest movie of all time.
I mean, that was the first one that dropped. That set the bar for science fiction movies at that point, raising it from what it was. And on so much stuff was done on a budget for that movie. It's amazing that they pulled it off. But.
Right. I just love how seamlessly they've matched all of those up. Because it took me a while to really appreciate. I watched with my dad whenever they first came out once or twice, and then whenever the new ones. Okay, no, we had Disney Plus. It was quarantine. What were you doing during the pandemic? And so we're let's start from the very beginning and go in order. And the way that they seamlessly made all of those match up is very impressive.
Too now. And having been, grown up with the series and known the movies and books and so forth, now the deep dive stuff that Disney Plus that Disney's putting out, like The Mandalorian, and now the Book of Boba Fett, and those things that kind of sub-chapter off that are filling in gaps here and there, and storylines that you always wondered how, the Book of Boba Fett that just dropped.
Right.
The first episode explains something that probably has been in every Star Wars geek's mind since 1983 when Return of the Jedi dropped. So, I mean, it was kind of cool to see that culmination 40 years later. It's like, oh, that's what happened. So, kind of a neat deal. But, yeah, I can geek out on the Star Wars stuff also.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you have your thing and what you're into, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, sports movies, we were talking, you mentioned Hoosiers. That's another one I haven't watched in eons. Dennis Hopper, though, freaking incredible.
The line with the whole measuring, it's the exact same no matter where you play. I'm like, that's just a metaphor of life. And I love that. I love that you can apply it. You don't have to be a sports fan. We'll be in church or something will happen. And, it's the exact example of, what you need.
Now, as a baseball fan, have you ever seen The Natural with Robert Redford?
It's been a long time. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember now, the storyline and visualizing it in my head. So I couldn't tell you.
So he was an up-and-comer, very talented, shot.
I do remember this movie.
Made a comeback.
Yes.
That's the nutshell of it. I'm not going to spoiler alert that one, but God, okay, it's been out for 35, 40 years almost, I guess now. But when I was a kid, man, that was the jam I had in Little League, and I was a terrible batter, but I wanted to do better. But I had this wooden bat, and I stripped it down. He had his Wonder Boy bat with the lightning bolt on it.
Oh, yeah.
I made a bat like that. I freaking took my wood burner and did it, and I went and probably struck out a bunch and got laughed at, but I didn't give a crap because I did what I wanted to do.
Wanted to
that is a fantastic.
Sure. Coach Carter's also a really good sports movie.
I've not seen that.
Coach Carter?
Is that basketball?
Cool. It's basketball.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they end up focusing, of course, kind of helping to make the community itself better and really helping the kids achieve and to become somebody from where they came from. They locked out practice. Of course, the community's mad at them because the team is good, but he really wants to focus on them getting better at their studies. So just it was just a very good movie for its time when it came out.
Well, I mean, I love a good underdog movie. And, we've so many good sports movies. That's the entire basis of the run. I mean, even the silly ones like Waterboy. It's the Mud Dogs going from 0 to nothing, or even just winning a game. But, those kind of things. I love those things. I like movies where, the turnaround movies where maybe, the protagonist starts out being kind of a jerk.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the redemption story.
The redemption story,
yes.
Kind of in that vein is Lean on Me. And again, I'm dating myself because this is an 80s one, but Morgan Freeman comes in and he's a principal and he's brought into this inner city school, terrible crime, drug deals in the halls, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And through his unique administrative methods, it turns the school around and does all kinds of cool stuff. So
Okay.
I cannot read that comment, but let me see the translation. It's not translating well. But
I think I love sports movies. I mean, we can't go a moment longer without talking about Remember the Titans.
Right.
With Denzel coming out.
And
I remember when
I will confess I haven't seen it. I know. I haven't seen it.
Hold
I know
the
what the
phone.
movie
You've
is. I
not
know what
watched
it's
that?
about. I've not watched it.
Oh, it's
Not
so
watched it.
good.
It came out when I was getting out of watching movies, I guess. I don't know. I never sunk my teeth.
I'd say if you're going to watch that one before you watch, Coach Carter is good, but Remember the Titans is next level. It's so good.
Another one I haven't seen is Moneyball, and I've even talked about the movie. It's a great movie. But I've not seen it.
Moneyball, we took a deep dive into that one, and it took us a while to see it. We didn't watch it in theater, but we wanted to. It was on our list, again, just making the time to see it. And talk about Brad Pitt doing another great job with that role, and Jonah Hill being the numbers guy.
Well,
it's so interesting.
It was one of the series that LaCroix did.
Oh,
they talked about it, and that was kind of what clued me into it. And I was like, all right, I need to watch that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and speaking, when we talked about Field of Dreams, speaking of LaCroix, Pastor Ron went out there last year for the game and everything. So what a cool experience that would be. I mean, gosh.
And I'm just seeing the clips on Twitter and watching it. I was like, I got chills. This is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's you don't have a soul if you don't get a little bit of a chill in Field of Dreams at some point.
Right.
Darla Kate Garza Sanders says, "Awesome team, SEMO." That's right. So, yeah, we've got a 4-pack of tickets to tomorrow night's basketball game. And if you want to win, just throw a comment in here and we'll give somebody some tickets today. But we're talking about movies.
I wonder what her favorite movie is.
Yeah, Darla, what's your favorite movie? I like action flicks. I love the shoot 'em ups. I love the Deadpool.
My gosh.
It's Marvel-ish, but
I have to be honest,
Deadpool,
I haven't been able to get into I started the second one, But it was one of those nights where we were up late and
Yeah.
I ended up falling asleep. And I was like, how did I fall asleep during a Deadpool
During
movie?
Deadpool, yeah. Must have been during the holiday celebrations.
It had to have been.
But
So I got to rewatch. The
yeah,
rest of that.
and it's harder for me as a parent too to like keep up with movies
Right.
because there's we got to kind of screen things, and the kids aren't young, but there's certain things. Obviously, Deadpool is not making the
No.
list for a while.
Can't do that.
But most of the time, if I'm watching a movie, it's probably with the family, so we'll get into the Marvel stuff and
Sure.
that end of it.
Just seems to be such a big genre right now. And Marvel's taking over everything. And just the superhero genre itself.
Yeah.
Between everything that DC is doing, it's a big
The
part of it.
technology now. I mean, we can do big production. So, your niece graduates from SEMO in May. She's a band teacher. Darla, did I talk to you at tailgating maybe last fall? We were talking about your niece being a band director. Maybe, I don't know. I was a band geek, SEMO band alumni. Word. So, cheers to that. I the history movies and stuff. What as far as thinking about the classics, black and whites, even to that end. What would be your favorite classic movie?
I don't know if it's. I don't know.
I mean, classic
early-
to me
right.
at 47 is going to be different than classic to you. So, you're not going to. You can say, "Well, it was E.T." And I was 8. Dang it! But that
I
doesn't.
do.
That's
That
fine.
one kind of scared me a little bit though. Like
It
at
did me
first
too.
when I saw
When I was
it,
a kid, it
like
scared
it
me.
took me a while to get around like the big guys, and it wasn't so much the alien that
No,
was scary. It's like the
the
big
man.
guards, everything that
Yeah.
was with it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And I remember the first movie that I don't know. When you talk about like history,
Mm-hmm.
I loved Pearl Harbor. I know it's kind of sappy. I know it's kind of long, and but I really loved getting into Pearl Harbor, and I was kind of a historical. But I loved that timeline in school. Like whenever we did like history, talking about World War II
Right.
and all that kind of stuff was very fascinating to me at the time. And so that movie by far was one of my favorites for a while.
I like that. It's a good movie. It got some stuff, but anything Ben Affleck's in is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
get crap talked about it because
Yeah.
Ben Affleck. Sorry,
I
Ben.
know.
I don't know why.
And Rachel
Gone Girl was
McAdams,
great.
right? She was, yeah.
You were great in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. But yeah, no, that's a great one. World War II movies, The Longest Day, and that's a classic from the 60s. That's a great one. There's a lot of good war movies for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, Saving Private Ryan, hands down. That
I
if I have a
used-
top 3, that's
Yeah.
in it. Absolutely in it.
I've not seen the whole movie, but I did use the first part of that whenever I did like my sophomore speech in high school.
Oh, yeah.
That was my visual aid. Because
Okay.
talking about, that was kind of, I was
Yeah.
talking about Osage Beach and how the war started and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
D-Day was my focus. And so I used a piece of
Okay.
that movie for my visual aid.
Yeah, it was to me like as one, and I'm kind of a World War II geek too. Like that of all the things. My dad, big Civil War study.
Okay.
Both kind of into World War I a little bit, but World War II, I just loved the focus of it, and to see, when they made this movie, how they made this movie, how they prepared to make this movie, and then the response after the fact from, veterans of World War II, the guys that landed on Osage Beach, and
Right.
that those that were able to, the credibility that they gave the portrayal and the way that they laid those things out.
Sure.
Just beautiful.
So it was called The
It's-
Longest, what'd you call it? The Longest
No,
Day?
not The Longest
Or-
Day. Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, just an incredible movie all the way around.
I need to check that one out. I need to actually sit down and watch. Like now that I can I need to just watch it.
Well, another good World War II movie, and albeit a Tarantino flick, but he did Inglourious Bastards with Brad Pitt. Another Brad Pitt.
He's
Maybe
coming
I've
up
got
a
thing
lot.
for Brad Pitt, but yeah. But no, Inglourious Bastards, incredible movie. Not for the weak-stomached or lighthearted, but man, I'm not going to go into war movies forever. I'm trying to remember there was a sniper movie. Was it Jude Law was in it? A couple other guys. It was real disparate, but it was also kind of a love story at the same time. But
Okay.
it was kind of on the Russian border, on the eastern border, and that was kind of the premise of it was the Stalin versus that area
Oh, I gotcha.
on the border. Anyway, that's another great movie
Well,
in the war movie genre.
thinking like musicals, Sound of Music. Like that's one of my earlier ones I remember watching through
You
school.
like musicals?
I'm hit or miss on them.
Yeah.
But like I liked that. I enjoyed Grease. the Mean Girls adaptation. Like, even though like
Yeah.
it's kind of like weird, like I enjoy certain aspects of it. I guess.
I am not a musical fan.
Okay.
I've not seen Hamilton, and as much as people know I like R&B and hip hop and all
Yeah.
that, I've not seen Hamilton. Sorry.
I haven't. I can't say anything.
I think the
haven't
last
watched it.
musical I saw was what was the circus one with Wolverine?
The not Out of the Woods.
The big extravaganza or something.
Into the Woods? Was it Into the Woods? No.
it
But that's
was
with Meryl
The
Streep.
Showman.
Oh, The Showman.
Yeah.
The Showman. That's
that was
right.
great.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he could sing, so it was kind of cool to see that. But I played in college. We did the Music Man with the theater department, music
Okay.
theater, and I played in that. And I have a whole new respect for the bands that through the years have played live theater. It is
Sure.
hard and fast and a lot of fun. But yeah, there's some good musicals. I don't know.
My husband's a big fan of Oklahoma.
Darla says the Dirty Dancing musical was really good.
Oh, okay.
Did they-
That was also a movie that came up a lot on our whenever we were
Dirty
asking
Dancing?
about the greatest movie of all time. A
Yeah.
lot of people were saying Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if it falls specifically in the musical genre on screen, but I mean, it does feature some of the best music ever.
That soundtrack is fire.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. White House Down, Darla said. Now, I don't think I've seen White House Down, but
Oh,
is that
that's the Channing Tatum one, right?
okay?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, I haven't seen
Or not
it.
Channing Tatum. It's either Channing Tatum or Gerard Butler.
Oh, maybe it's
Because there's
Gerard.
two different ones. They're very
don't know.
similar. One's White House Down, and there's another one that kind of is the same premise.
Yeah.
And both of those are very good looking guys,
Yeah.
so I get them kind of mixed up.
Now, what about, most of these movies we've been talking about are theater movies.
Oh, Olympus Has Fallen is the other
Olympus
one.
Has Fallen. That was with Gerard Butler.
Okay.
Yeah. Our streaming services are producing stuff. Netflix has cranked out a ton of movies, proprietary, just Netflix productions. Most recently they had the Don't Look Down or Don't Look Up. Yeah,
Don't Look Up. I've heard great things about it. I've not watched
everybody
it
and their brother watched it and said, "Oh man, this is just so thought provoking," and yada yada yada. I'll confess, I didn't watch it because I understood what the premise was, and I went and watched the ending, the last 20 minutes, and then I
Yeah.
watched the mid credits ending, and then I watched the ending at the very end of the credits. So I basically didn't watch the whole movie. I skipped to the end of the book on that one, but it's because. If you've ever watched the series of unfortunate events that Netflix produced as well, based on the books,
Oh,
where the
okay.
two cool, smart kids, and they're just surrounded by idiot adults and the evil guy, I got so frustrated watching this with my kids, I couldn't watch it anymore
Yeah.
because I just wanted to slap every adult in the movie. And so when
What
I'm
are you
thinking of
doing?
the premise behind this Don't Look Up, at the same time to me was like, I'm going to get so mad watching this, I'm not going to be able to tolerate it. So I skipped to the ending.
Oh.
That was it for me. But I'm not going to talk about it because that's recent enough. I don't want to.
Yeah, and say I've
Rep it
not
for
made
somebody.
that on my list. I've heard people talk about it's kind of messed up, or like it kind of will
Yeah,
mess with your
messes
mind
with
a
your head
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets you some. It's definitely thought provoking
Okay.
for sure. What about what was the Chinese one where the game Hunger Games, where they were playing games? This came out last fall and it was a big hit, and then like
Oh,
Squid Games.
Squid Game or Squid Match or
Squid Games.
Squid Games. Yeah.
I think it was
I
Squid Game. or
never actually watched because that was more of a series, right, than an actual
Yeah.
movie.
And that's another one of those kind of like Hunger Games that I don't want to watch because it puts unfortunate people in terrible, deadly situations.
Yeah.
And that's not my kind of thing. But I heard a lot of talk about it because it also seemed to kind of open people's eyes to what somebody's willing to do for money.
Right.
This is such and such is on the table. And of course, you get into the characters' backstories. You find out, this guy's got 18 kids and 15 mortgages or whatever it is. And that's why he's doing it. I don't know.
Well, if you're going to go that
Scary
route,
stuff.
John Q, the Denzel Washington
Mm-hmm.
movie, where he basically holds a hospital hostage
Yeah.
to get the care that he needs for his kid. Kind of same element.
Yep.
I mean, Denzel made some.
Yeah. There was
Intense
another one,
movies for a while.
similar process to that too, that had James Gandolfini in it, and that was back where I don't remember the name of it, but they basically took the Brooklyn Bridge hostage or something like that.
okay.
And Gandolfini was like the army guy, and then this other guy was holding everybody hostage, and the cops trying to make sure they don't kill each other.
Wow.
It was an intense one. I do like the intense dramas.
Yeah.
I like the drama thrillers.
Okay.
I don't like horror movies. Just
So you're not a. I went through a phase where
Yeah.
I loved the Saw series.
okay.
Like,
I've never seen one.
Don't know because there was like take out the gore. Like I'm not saying I was like a fan of all the gore stuff.
The toys and the
but
traps and
yeah,
stuff?
no, like
pretty cool.
But I was very intrigued with the psyche of it all and how everything tied together, and then it would totally switch, and then like they'd play, and you're like, oh my gosh, that totally makes sense. And so it was more of a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I really, I got into that for a hot
I will
minute.
take the psychological thrillers all day. Just the head removing and whatever else goes on, I can pass on. But then again, I'll watch Silence of the Lambs or not 12 Monkeys, but 7. Another Brad Pitt. Brad, we got to get together, bro. Apparently, I'm a big fan of your movies, and I just don't know it.
Darren today.
Hello, Fight Club. Another great movie. But yeah, no, I've never seen any of the Friday 13th. I've never seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Halloween.
Okay.
I have screwed the trifecta of Halloween movies of horror thrillers. I just, not my thing.
Okay.
No disrespect to anybody that loves the creepy stuff, but not my MO.
I'm not big into like the demons and the possessed. Like I'm not one of those. I did a
like
long
The
time.
Exorcist or...
Yeah, no, thank you. Like as far away as possible as I can get from that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I've never actually watched The Ring because it kind of still reminds me a lot of that kind of stuff.
What about what was the one where they were the Blair Witch story? Blair Witch
with
Project.
like the camera. That's like when that whole kind of. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. I just remember like still shots of it looking up a girl's nose or something, like bad camera work, and I was like, I don't know. I can watch. High School Videos.
There was a movie that kind of followed that same premise with that style of shooting.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what it was called though.
No, I like the psychological stuff. I like the leaves you thinking a little bit. And, there was one that, speaking of Denzel, it was him and Ashley Judd. I'm trying to think of who else was in it.
That's not because the Bone Collector was a good one that he did.
It was like the entity of the devil possesses and moves from person to person or whatever, and they become like kind of a killer type deal. And Sympathy from the Devil from the Rolling Stones was at the end of this movie, and I just remember that as they were pulling away from the house. So it was, but yeah, the psychological thrillers, I like those.
Okay.
The wife and I will sit down and we'll dig in on those.
Yeah. I love something with a good story. We're all over the place.
Yeah. I like comedies. I haven't watched a lot of recent comedies.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know. I went through my mid-90s collegiate time for about 10, 15 years. That was my irreverent, haha, South Park, somebody tooted jokes. Kind of, haha, that's hilarious. But not so much anymore. But, I mean, there's some funny stuff that's out, and you mentioned some of the actors that he was in. What was the interview? Crap, I can't remember now. It was basically they made the movie. It was the guy that
Franco. Franco. Yeah.
Franco. And but they didn't release it because it was like a spoof on North Korea, and like,
it caused some drama.
Yeah,
a lot
big
of drama.
Deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kim Jong-un in, out, whatever his name is. He said he was going to blow us up if we showed that movie. So we said we'll wait. We released it on Netflix.
And then
and it all worked out. Yeah. But
we went through like Step Brothers. I know it's kind of Step Brothers is a good one.
And again, it's one of those that I laugh my tail off at it. You have to kind of roll your eyes at some of the irreverence and some of the innuendo and so forth.
Like Wedding Crashers, another one that like if it's on, we'll watch because it's just
super bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just full of dumb stuff.
Yep.
But again, and a lot of those have great soundtracks though.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some songs that have made it because of movies like that. There's for sure. I mean, Smash Mouth All Star. If it wouldn't have been for Shrek, that probably would have died with my generation. So sorry, everybody. Blame
Shrek.
Blame DreamWorks.
Also, but they do a good job too of using something older, like the Holding Out for a Hero.
Yeah.
Shrek.
Well, and The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston. I mean.
Oh, that's one I forgot about. That's a good
Officer
movie
and a Gentleman. What would the Love lifts us up where we? I think that was an Officer and a Gentleman. There's one of the those power duets back in the 80s. Holy crap! And then Disney made a lot of that happen too, because you'd have the A Whole New World from Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
There was the pop duo that redid like Peebo Bryson and somebody else. So a lot of those Disney movies would chart based off of that too. That might be a good '90s lunch thing. Like
Ooh,
we did a
do-
movie songs. I know I did at
Soundtracks.
least one
Yeah.
soundtrack song last fall, but maybe a Disney soundtrack song.
That could be a lot of fun.
could
A
or it could
lot
be
of fun.
terrible.
It-
Either way.
Either way, it's a totally nice lunch.
Darla says Just Mercy is an awesome movie. I am unfamiliar with Just Mercy.
Just mercy.
I'll have to look that one up.
Interesting.
So
So I think that we're nowhere close to figuring out what the greatest movie of all time is.
nope. We are nowhere closer, but we mentioned a lot of good movies.
We did. A lot of reminiscing.
That's right.
So we might need your help come March. I think we're going to pit them all together.
Yeah, we're gonna do some March movie shenanigans.
Yeah.
Make things. We're gonna try to determine what the best movie of all time is.
And there will be upsets.
There will be, and there will be people upset by
Yes.
the upsets.
Yes.
Oh, the controversy, scathing.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun, and we'll tie some prizes to it.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll go through my movie collection and give away
Darren's
part of
movie
Darren's
collection.
personal movie collection. Because basically, I've been in the process for the last couple of years. I could not be more sloth-like in doing it, but I wanted to take all the movies I got on DVD and I wanted them digital. So whether
Okay.
I bought the digital or acquired the digital version of the
Yeah.
movie, I wanted to be able to do that. So I clear stuff out, right? Get rid of DVDs.
Sure.
So if anybody's interested in, the Harrison Ford Air Force One movie, I've got that on VHS and DVD, kids.
Oh,
That's on my man movie list. There's certain movies that just you subscribe to that are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
That one was okay. Air Force One,
Right.
was good.
What was the Sean Connery, The Rock?
The Rock,
The actor, that's a
Sean
good
Connery,
one.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
You better get off your backside.
And
I
then
don't
what?
know, I
U.S.
can't
Marshals?
U.S. Marshals, yeah. Well, in all those, The Fugitive, U.S. Marshals, The Fugitive, you had Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah.
U.S. Marshals. Then you brought in, what's his name? Wesley Snipes. I started to say Willie
Okay.
Snips.
Yeah.
Got Willie Snips.
Because U.S.
Wesley
Marshals, was
Snipes.
that with Nicolas Cage too?
Or
Or no? Am I mixing that up?
No.
Who is the bad guy in?
In U.S. Marshals, I think, was the one with Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
The Fugitive was the one with Harrison Ford. But Tommy Lee Jones was involved in both of those.
Okay.
He was the cop.
Got it.
Or the lead cop or whatever. So
Makes sense.
Jamie Foxx plays in that movie, Just Mercy. I like Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, one of my favorite actors. Going back to the In Living Color days.
I feel like he's like an
can't find that anywhere.
underrated.
He is
actor.
an incredibly talented
Yeah.
dude. I mean, he can sing. Yeah, I mentioned In Living Color because that was the early '90s show that the Marlins, the Wayans family ran, and he was on that early on. But I mean, like I can remember him and Tommy Davidson like faking Jodeci songs on that show, parodying them.
Yeah.
And, like they're both ooh yeah, and just breaking off all the soul. And I'm like, but then Jamie Foxx, like I mean, he did what I don't remember the name of the Ray Charles biopic that they did.
Oh, okay.
And he was freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Man.
I believe it. And then he shows up in like I think he was in one of the like Valentine's Day. Where you had like all the different stories of all the different people that you followed. It was either New Year's Day or Valentine's Day. I feel like he was in one of those.
I can only imagine. I've not seen that one. Did you see that one?
Valentine's Day?
No,
Or,
I can only imagine.
Oh no,
That's another one
the
Darla
Stevie,
threw up.
or is that the biopic you were talking about?
No, I can only imagine was it was kind of like a warm and fuzzy life experience type of flick, I think.
Okay.
If I remember right.
Yeah, I haven't. My
kind of a,
movie.
kind of a This Is Us / movie type thing, maybe.
If I were to go through a list, the movies that I have not seen
oh my gosh,
way outweighs the number that I have, and the movies that actually retain information about, even a smaller list.
Well, see, I got a leg up because I am older. So, like, some of the ones that I grew up and saw as a kid, like Ghostbusters, or, not so much as a kid, but like Stripes and some of those, those are classics, but a lot of them haven't made the digital boost yet or are not in major streaming stuff. One of the movies, and this one, if any of you have a lead on where to find it, please let me know, besides buying a DVD off eBay, but The Three Amigos. Oh my gosh,
so
I can't
good.
find it anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
And it has so many great quotes in it. And
It
it's got
does.
freaking Steve Martin is like one of my top five people on the planet. Absolutely is.
He's a
and
gem.
I mean, golly, man, what a good movie. And Martin Short.
Right.
And Chevy Chase. Come on, it's a trifecta of awesome.
Back in like 2015, that was Nolan's Valentine's Day present.
Nice.
That?
Yes.
and so I was like, I know you love the movie, and it's totally random, but we had been looking for it, same case scenario, and I stumbled upon it somewhere. I can't remember if it was at Hastings, RIP, or where, but like I ended up finding it, and I was like, hey, so we have it on DVD if you want to watch it.
Nice. I may have to borrow it and figure out a way to copy it or something. It's one of those gotta see it. I mean, you got the we have a plethora of them, Jefe.
You want to go out and kiss me on the veranda? Oh, the lips is just nice.
I don't think you think that word means what you think it means. Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. War Room. That's an amazing movie. War Room. Oh, you know what? Speaking of war named movie, War Horse. Did you ever watch that one about the horse in World War I? That's a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those where, you know, you think of animal actors, like there's some famous ones over the years, you know, as far as but this horse was just like, should have got an Oscar for best actor. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's an incredible movie. Heartbreaking movie, but
I remember seeing the artwork for it. Like you say it, and I know like what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. I couldn't tell you who's in it or anything like that. But was it like a white horse?
No,
or
it was a dark-ish.
A darker one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's animal movies, golly, yeah, there's so many of them. What was the racehorse flick?
Seabiscuit?
Yeah.
Seabiscuit?
Seabiscuit.
That horse just passed away. The actor for that played Seabiscuit in that movie, like this week, I think passed away.
Aw.
That stuff. I know. Homeward Bound, growing up for me, was a good animal flick movie.
I can remember leaving my cats at home alone.
You're like, don't leave.
Couldn't know when I was going to be gone for the weekend. I put like Homeward Bound on or something on repeat so they'd have something to watch.
There you
Here
go.
you go, guys. Sit around and be friendly with each other. But,
Chance, sassy. Oh, good stuff.
Homeward Bound. If you're a Disney fan, you know the Spooky Buddies and the Super Buddies and the little puppies that were all friends with each other.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Oh, Air Bud also.
Oh, Air Bud.
More good flicks.
Oh,
the
man.
pudding cups. Like,
I forgot about Air
iconic.
Bud. Golly. You know, there's definitely more dog movies than cat movies. I was trying to think of a cat movie just off my top of my head, and I'm like, you know, I can't think of anything that's cat-centric. Puss in Boots, but that's an animated cat.
Right.
Well, it's probably because you can't get a cat to do anything on camera.
No.
Like, Homeward Bound was probably the first miracle cat movie ever created.
She did it.
We went through 400 pounds of tuna during filming because that's the only way we could get the cat to go somewhere.
Oh, man.
Fun.
Good stuff.
Well, you know, we've talked about a lot of different movies. Of course, we want to know what your favorites are. And as we get closer to putting our bracket, our list, our grouping together on these movies, you know, do you think that the best movie is going to be a comedy? Do you think, Garfield, yeah, that's an immortal cat.
Yeah.
Garfield. And who was it that played John in the because they did the live action Garfield movie when it was like kind of a, you know, animated cat.
I can see his face.
Cartoon. I can't picture his face. I can't think of who was in it. Gosh dang it. But he played John, creator of Lasagna and Terrible Dating. But yeah.
Well, and if you think of any other movies that we should add to our list, feel free to drop them in the comments.
Yep.
And we'll pick somebody from this Facebook Live, leave the comments to win those SEMO tickets, too, for the Whiteout game tomorrow.
And we'll reach out to you via Facebook, so keep an eye on your messenger, and we'll tag you in the comments of the post, too, to let you know you've won. And then you'll be able to pick those tickets up on your phone, because you don't even have to come in and get them. They're digital.
SEMO, high-tech,
send them to you.
Raising the bar.
That's right. So you don't even have to put on pants until you need to leave for the game.
Yep. And please put on pants before you get to the game.
Yeah, please do. White pants.
Yes.
Because it is the whiteout game.
Whiteout.
We want you to wear your white SEMO gear because we got red seats. It's nationally televised, like Rachel said, so it's going to be on ESPNU. We're taking on Morehead State, and it's the whiteout game. Live music in between the games, so go get that. And if you don't win the tickets, you know what? Go anyway. It's super cheap to go to a SEMO game, guys. Not going to lie. As far as Division I collegiate basketball goes, you've got a bargain and a great facility to do it. SEMO's, the Show Me Center is like one of the best facilities in the OVC.
I love the Show Me Center.
Yeah, it's great, and we're lucky to have it here. And so go to see the basketball game and tell us all the terrible. Breckin Meyer played John in the Garfield movie. Breckin Meyer.
I would have not have guessed that because
No.
I have no idea who that is.
I can't remember his name, but it was the same guy that was on X-Men, I think, wasn't it? That had the laser eyes guy.
Okay.
Wasn't that the same guy with the one that always pulls his lip up? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched the Garfield movie.
I don't know.
But now we're on a mission. We're going to have to go renew our movie interest. So I'm going to have to go through my DVD case and find some obscure things. I was in a movie once.
You
know
were?
that? Yeah.
Like-
13 years ago. I was one of the leads.
Like a
in-
national movie?
It could have been if somebody had bought it.
Regional?
It was regional, yes.
Was it?
It was accepted by several people at street corners. No, it was a friend of mine, Patrick Bond, and Steve Turner. They shot it regionally, produced it. I mean, it was well put together.
Oh, cool.
And it was a lot of fun for me. I'd never acted in a movie situation before, so it's unique getting used to the cameras being, you got to act like they're not there. And-
Sure. Which is hard to do.
well, and when you're a big dude, and they say you got to run, like that's hard to do. So you have to. It's a lot of pieces to it. I can tell you, my wife was super patient when we did that because she wasn't even my wife yet, and I was, out till 2-3 in the morning, shoots like 12, 14 hours straight, and then coming home. But it's a drama mystery. I'll have to give you a copy. It's hard. It's hard to watch it because when you know somebody in a movie or whatever, contextually, it's like, oh, there's dumb butt, or whatever, and it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I had to run from a truck to a house in the shootout scene, and I was sprinting my little tail off, and I'm top heavy, so I just kind of fell forward and just
How many times did you fall?
just once. That's all
Just
it
once?
took.
Okay.
Yeah, I had grass in my belt and everything. It was a blast. But that one was called Dark Road. You won't find that one on the internet. You might find it on some
Fail video channel or something?
Turkish YouTube or something. It might be out there somewhere. Who knows?
Oh,
Stream it
man.
live today. But all right. Well, thanks for joining us for our mic side chat. It's like a fireside chat without the heat, which is why I'm wearing a hoodie still. But we appreciate you jumping in with us. We'll do it again soon. And again, like Rachel said, post your comment in here. We'll give away some give away some basketball tickets for tomorrow night's basketball game.
Whiteout game. Go SEMO.
Go SEMO. So again, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. And be sure to follow us on Facebook if you're not already, so you know when the next one's coming up. And we'll do it again soon. It's a Mike Side Chat with 93.9 Mike FM. Whoop, whoop.